You know, I felt like reading a story, and since last time on last stream we did play some games for girls, I thought it might be appropriate to continue the theme with a story for girls. And of course, our favorite source for stories, our favorite author of literature is Clickhole, clickhole.com. They have their Click Ventures. I mean, they haven't posted one in a couple years now, but they still do have those Click Ventures on the site. So I was looking through them to try to figure out what would be a good story for girls. And there are a few stories on there that are relevant to girls' interests and star girls. But then I found one that I think... It doesn't star a girl, it stars a guy, but I do think that the subject matter is highly relevant to the girl games that we were playing last time. So, the story that we're reading tonight is you lied your way into a job as a surgeon. Can you avoid killing anyone long enough to collect your first paycheck? So I think that this has a lot to do with our last stream, and this is what we're going to be doing. This is what we're doing tonight. So, let's get started with the story. Maybe I should... Let me just turn down the music slightly. Just so it's in the background, but maybe not drowning me out. Let's get going. Surgeons, the masters of the flesh, the gatekeepers of the organs, the doctors who get to shave patients. These are the green-wearing gods who know that the human body is but a chessboard, and that the nipples are the king and queen, and the belly button is the opposing king or queen. Today, finally, you are beginning your journey as one of them. Sounds sweet. You're already gone through the arduous process of becoming a surgeon. After calling the hospital over and over every day for 3 weeks straight and praising Tylenol in the deepest voice you could muster to whoever picked up, being hung up on by countless doctors and nurses, you finally hit the big time. Yesterday, you managed to get the chief of medicine on the line, who offered you a job after a mere 50 minutes of you bellowing to her about the white and red pill. Congratulations. Wow. That's how you become a surgeon. I had no idea. Well, we have 3 choices, and the chat is going to have to pick one. So we are going to start the vote. 1, 2, or 3. Thank you, I'm a surgeon is 1. If you ate Tylenol fast, that's 1 rabies shot is 2. Eating any more than 3 Tylenols in church is a sin, unless you brought enough for everyone. Looks like 2 and 3 are fighting it out. It's going back and forth on that. 3 slightly in the lead. 1 has no chance, it seems, but it seems like 3. It seems like 3's doing all right. 3 has a fairly good lead at this point. I mean, 2 could still come in and take it, but I don't think that's happening. I think I'm going to call this vote. And we are going to go with number 3. Eating any more than 3 Tylenols in church is a sin, unless you brought enough for everyone. Okay. Being a surgeon is sweet as hell. You get to wear patients' clothes around a hospital once the chemicals put them to sleep. You can eat as many tortilla chips as you want, and you can hide all your favorite DVDs and family heirlooms inside toxic waste bins, the one place thieving pricks are too grossed out to steal from. We have 4 choices this time. Chat, you are going to have to make another vote. For some reason, the graphic does not... There it is. The graphic was not appearing for a bit. Not sure why. So... 1, 2, 3, 4. It does seem that 2, sorry. 2 is the most popular. I mean, that's just a fact. Skittles are to math what Tylenol is to alchemy. That is just a fact right there, so we don't even need to watch the end of that vote. We're gonna go with number 2 on this. Skittles are to math what Tylenol is to alchemy. Cool. But the best part of being a surgeon, bar none, is that incredible surgeon paycheck. It's no secret that surgeons are paid well, as every single day at 8 p.m., hard-working surgeons all over the world reap the fruits of their labor. A plastic bag filled with $600, given to them by their chief of medicine on the way out the door, in addition to a goodnight kiss on the forehead. Hell yeah. I didn't know they were paid so well. Exactly. So now that you're a surgeon, you better do everything in your power to make it your $600 payday, because there is one universal stipulation that could jam you up. If a surgeon kills someone, everything completely goes to shit. 1. For starters, once a surgeon kills someone, they are never allowed back in the hospital ever, even if you just want to go hang out or meet new lovers. 2. Your professional reference completely goes out the window. If a new job calls to ask about you, instead of a recommendation, the HR department hands the phone off to the absolute sickest pervert patient they have, lets them air out whatever they've got kicking around up in their minds. 3. Lastly, and this is the one that's the worst of all, you don't get paid a dime, which means all your efforts to become a surgeon were for nothing. I'm learning so much about how hospitals work. So if you want to get to that sweet paycheck, you're going to have to make through one entire day as a surgeon without killing someone. I'm excited to be a surgeon who kills no one. The hospital. The place where people come where they are bored to take off their pants, the place where people come when they are bored to take off their pants and scream. This will be your new surgeon home, and today is your first day of work. As far as anyone inside is concerned, you are now a fully qualified surgeon. So if you want those 600 clams, you're going to have to hold your own and stay off everyone's radar. Well, so it sounds like we just have to avoid doing surgery on anyone, I guess, since we don't actually know how to do it. I'm sure that won't be too difficult. Enter the hospital. Please, give me a surgery. Ah, shit. The sick kid is waiting for you right inside the lobby, and he looks all kinds of fucked up. I need a surgery pronto. I'm dying, and it feels like none of my bones are connected to my other bones. I also have a rash that comes and goes. Please do surgery to me with your other doctor friends. 2 choices, chat. 2 choices here. Let's start up that vote. There we go. What do you want to tell the kid? It seems like the first one, we're asking the kid to find another doctor, and then the second one, we're just bailing on this kid in a very embarrassing way, and it seems like the chat is voting for number 2, so we're just gonna do that. So number 2, our reaction to this plea for help is to piss our pants and bail to the bathroom. That was close. You've pissed your pants real good, and now you're in the bathroom, splashing your pants with water. The best way to clean pants you've urinated in. Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, it's water. It's gonna dry. It won't stain or anything. I know that. My pants are now much wetter, but not as much as with piss as with water, so they're practically good as new. Cut off his eyes right there. Hey, you sure know your way around cleaning a pair of pissed pants, sport. Not bad at all. You look over and see that it's the hospital's janitor talking to you. He somehow opened the door in perfect silence while you were inside splashing your pants and has been watching you for upwards of 90 full seconds. I've been watching you for upwards of 90 full seconds, and I can tell just by looking at you. You know, surgeon. Oh man, he sees right through us. 2 choices, chat. Once again, our destiny is up to you. Number 1 is we're responding to him, trying to keep up the charade. And then the second one, it looks like we are just, we're gonna take matters into our own hands, it seems. Gonna forget about the lying and get with the killing. Pretty split on this one. Number 1, a little bit more in the way of votes. Number 2, a little bit less. Then you have pizza. There's a couple votes that could go to one of these sides, but they're not doing it. It's pretty even. I can't call this one early, I think. I think that we're going to have to go all the way and see how this turns out. I mean, he knows we're not... He suspects, I think, that we're not a surgeon. Can we leave him alive? Can we finesse and charisma our way out of this? Well, it seems like, I don't know if we can, but it seems like we're going to have to try. Because number one has won. So we're going to tell him, yes, I am. I am a surgeon, you jackass. Easy, easy. I'm not going to rat you out. I'm going to help you. I take it that you're in here lying to be a surgeon, hoping to get the $600 bag treatment, eh? Well, you got a friend in me. I've seen it before, and we'll see it again. All you gotta do is make it until 8 p.m. without killing a soul, and you're in the clear. So what do you say you come lay low with me for the rest of the day? Spend some time hanging with a new bud, so you don't end up killing no one before you get that money. Okay, it seems like he's cool. I mean, he maybe shouldn't be cool with someone who is lying about being a surgeon, but he's cool. Why are you being so nice to me? I'm a bit suspicious about this guy. How do you mean? He says, visibly becoming self-conscious about the entire interaction so far. I'm just tired today, so if I'm acting weird, that's what that's about, probably. Allergies are being weird, too. Okay. Let's hang out. Follow me! The janitor says before sprinting down the hallway. You do your best to keep up with him as he weaves in and out of patients and doctors before you finally arrive at a huge metal door. He slides open the rusty door to reveal a set of long, winding stairs that lead to a dark, desolate basement, and turns to you with a half-smile. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno, he says before letting out a quick, uncertain laugh. Heh! Looking over his shoulder at you to kind of check in and seeing if you're laughing or anything at what must have been some kind of joke. Got 3 choices on that one, chat. How do you want to respond? Like, one of them are acknowledging his joke. The second one, we are not. The third one, we're just asking him, what was that supposed to mean? I mean, I understand the reference. I don't know why he said it. It does look like number 3 is going to win, so we're going to ask him about this. What are you talking about? What? That was dumb. Never mind. The janitor says, shaking his head as his shoulders slump, trying to explain his joke before slowly progressing into full-blown self-deprecation. I was thinking like, how in the old commercials, I'd be the delivery guy and you're the pizza. I don't know, forget it. It was dumb. Sorry. You know, sometimes you just have a joke in your mind, it just doesn't come out right. You know, that happens sometimes. It happens to all of us. Okay. You follow the janitor down the stairs and into the basement of the hospital, and I like how there's a watermark on that. And lo and behold, it's a full-blown bachelor's pad. The janitor has stocked the place with some of the best things. A ping pong table, a Forever 27 poster. Ah, yeah. 27, the best age. An old-timey popcorn machine, and a bunch of orange pill bottles filled with frosted Cheerios. This is my chill zone. I'm down here almost all the time, which is why the hospital is filthy, and patients always seem to get sick immediately after they get better. It is very useful for your mental health to have a chill zone at your place of work. We got all day, brother, so we could either sit down and talk about that important-looking guitar I have mounted on the wall over there, or we could stand near the stairs and wonder if Slash has ever signed a guitar and sold it for $20,000 online before. Maybe we could lay down on the ground and trade stories about the most expensive thing we've ever mounted on the wall. Your call. Oh, we only have one choice here, which is to challenge the janitor to ping pong. What's this choice? I can't lift my arms above my waist because of a power washer accident. Oh, cut off the text. And there's actually no picture here. I like that the tag is WoW. I think all the Click Ventures are tagged under WoW. Okay, I guess we're going to give in and ask the janitor about the guitar on his wall, since it seems like he really wants you to. That one has no picture either. I wonder if that's supposed to be how that is? Usually they all have pictures. I don't know. You got a good eye, kid, he says as though you brought it up completely unprompted, proudly looking up at the guitar that he somehow mounted unnecessarily high on his wall. Believe it or not, Slash signed that guitar, and I was lucky enough to spend all the money I have on it. I usually don't do this for anyone, but for you, I'll climb all the way up there and get it if you want to hold it. Seems dangerous to climb up there if you can't lift your hands above your waist. I'd climb anywhere from one of my boys. And, what about those wires? You'd have to step all those wires to get over there. I'll put a very wet towel over them. I'm sure that will be fine. Alright, we have a choice. Chat, you're gonna decide on what the janitor is gonna be doing. Looks like we're gonna either we head back towards the lobby, or we ask the janitor to get that guitar. It does seem dangerous for him to do it, but clearly he really wants to get the guitar. Do we want our new friend to put his health at risk? Looks like it's fairly close, but most people are saying that they want the janitor to put his health at risk. It seems like that is what's going to take it. It doesn't look like number one is making a comeback on this one. So we're going to end this vote early, and we are going to ask the janitor to get the guitar for us. Well, you've killed! You've killed! You put the janitor in grave danger by selfishly asking him to grab his slash guitar off the wall. After the janitor putting a soaking wet towel on his top of his countless basement wires in order to walk over to the wall and begin his climb, he was immediately electrocuted and fell crashing to the ground without the ability to raise his arms and break his fall. It's unclear if it was the electricity surging through his body that did him in, or if it was the way his neck snapped on a nearby stool because of the horrible, unnatural way he fell. But either way, he's definitely dead, and it was your fault. You're no longer a surgeon, and you can kiss that bag of $600 goodbye. Well, chat, you got our first bad ending. We're gonna restart at a checkpoint here. Okay, so we do start from here. And I think that we only have these one choices. I don't know why it's not loading the pictures. Because you'd think that they would all have pictures, but they're just not, there's nothing not happening right now. We're going to go with choice number one. We're going to say that looks way too dangerous. We don't need to see the guitar. We're going to bail on the weird janitor. We're going to head back towards the lobby to kill time solo. As you go back up the stairs and start heading towards the lobby, you can hear that he starts to follow you, but then locks himself in the bathroom you were in earlier and begins screaming at himself in the mirror for messing up what could have been a nice day. His screaming gets louder and louder before it comes to a halt after you hear the sound of him snapping his mop over his knee in fury. We're going to run away from the janitor as fast as we can. I assume this is the kid from before? I need you to give me a surgery right now. Ah, damn, it's a sick kid from earlier. I feel like I'm on a boat at all hours of the day, and my elbows are dry. I need you to cut me open and drain me out if that's what it takes, and please get me home by later today. You only have one option. We have to give the kid a surgery. You pick the kid up, throw him over your shoulder, and walk through the hospital looking for a good room to cut him open in. After 20 minutes, you finally find the room with all the surgeons in it, and you slam the kid down on the empty table as they're all staring at. Now, all eyes are on you. You're going to have to step up and say something pretty incredible to get all these surgeons on your side. 3 choices, chat. What do we tell the surgeons? I guess we're going to use the reference that we learned for our janitor friend. You see, there's like a progression in this story. We learned about the catchphrase earlier, and now we're going to use it with these doctors. So clearly, that is what we're going to go with. We slam the kid down on the table and say, "It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno." Everyone starts nodding and smiling and patting each other on the back. Good shit. Ah, nice, a woman says, whose voice you recognize from the phone as the chief of medicine at the hospital. She quickly anesthetizes the patient to finally stop him from grabbing and clawing at everyone's surgical masks, and within seconds the little spaz is sleeping. At that moment, the tallest doctor you've ever seen walks into the door wearing a backwards hat and confidently drinking Barq's root beer out of a 2-liter bottle. I've never seen you around here, he says after putting the root beer down firmly into the lap of the unconscious kid and eyeing you up and down suspiciously. Enlighten us, fresh meat. Now, what surgery are we performing on this little man exactly? This guy's on to you. Need something big here to throw everyone off your tracks. Got 3 choices, chat. What are we doing? There are a couple things that we could say, or we could wink. It seems like the chat believes in the power of the unspoken word, which is that it seems like we're not going to say anything, we're just going to do a little wink. You know, sometimes it's best just not to open your mouth at all. Wink at him. Wink! Doctors, please stop winking at each other, says the chief of medicine after banging her fist down onto the kid's chest like a gavel to get everyone's attention. This little boy is in dire need of a heart transplant. We need to start immediately. We've got 2 choices. Do we begin the surgery, or do we go with our distraction technique? The distraction technique did work previously. It seems like the chat does want us to try for the distraction again. I mean, it only makes sense because we don't actually know how to do a surgery. So, it does seem like number 2 is going to win, and we are going to piss ourselves and try to bail to the bathroom. After noticing that no one is reacting to you pissing yourself, you look around and realize that every surgeon in the room has also already pissed themselves. Then you remember that surgeons are constantly pissing themselves during surgery, like bicyclists during races, for reasons completely unknown. That's probably why they put the patients to sleep, so the patients don't see them piss their pants. I think that makes sense. Alright. Now start the surgery. The chief of medicine takes out a toolbox from underneath the surgery room sink and hands each surgeon a tool. She takes each tool out one by one and starts passing them down the line. One doctor gets a small shovel, one gets a large knife, another gets a pickaxe, and on it goes until you finally end up with the flashlight. Yeah, that's my flashlight, pal. I'm always the flashlight man around here, says the root beer doctor. Nah, interjects the chief. New guy can hold the flashlight today. I have a good feeling about this. Your new rival is stunned. He shoots you a dirty look, threateningly crosses his thumb over his neck, and then does it again with his other thumb, but slower. Then he quietly mouths something that you didn't really get a good read on, but from what you did see, your best guess that he was saying something like fracking mountains or simply delicious. Then he is handed the worst tool, the blood napkin, the tool that wipes out all of the loose goo and pus. It's actually it's not very well known, but among surgeon society, it is a grave insult to be handed the blood napkin. All right, we got 2 choices, chat. Do we turn the flashlight on and shine it at the kid's organs, or do we shine the flashlight in our rival's eyes to make him squint? It's pretty even on this one. And number 2, starting to take it. I was going to say the chat seems to be very invested in this choice because no one was voting for pizza, but 2 people have chimed in with pizza. It looks like number 2 is going to win. There's some people of the chat who are very studious, very professional surgeons, and then there are some who are not. And it looks like those who are not have won this time. So, we're going to shine the flashlight in the rival's eyes. Come on, man. Quit it. What the hell? Nice. Shine the flashlight at the kid's organs now. The surgery is now well underway. The chief is slicing and dicing and moving parts around left and right. It's pretty much a one-woman show. Most of the other doctors are using their tools just to kind of scrape some bones and stuff when they feel like they should get in the mix, usually after not doing anything for a couple minutes straight and getting nervous that someone will notice that they're really not crucial to the operation. You're getting bored by the whole thing at this point, but at least you're holding your own with these docs, and most importantly, haven't killed anyone yet. We're actually doing a good job. We're going to keep shining the light in the organs. Surgery's still going. Getting kind of repetitive. A couple doctors shuffled out for a minute and came back with crackers. The crackers are all gone now. You didn't even notice they had crackers until there were only like 4 left in the sleeve, so at that point, asking for some really wouldn't have been cool. Surgery is getting boring. I guess we're going to keep shining this flashlight. Look, we want that bag of $600. Surgery is boring as hell. Your arms got tired from holding the flashlight up, so you put it down for a minute and no one seemed to notice. You're back up now. You keep shining. Kid woke up and started screaming loud, but now he's sleeping again. You were scared. No, you were scared. I wasn't scared. You were scared. The surgeons are all ragging on each other and having fun again. Finally got some juice in the room. The whole crew got a good laugh out of that one. I mean, you do have to find amusement where you can when you have a boring, unimportant job like a surgeon. Whoa, wait a minute. Oh man, you see something inside the kid's body, wedged deep in between his ribcage and his liver. It looks to be something shining and throbbing, and you're pretty sure you're the only one who sees it. 2 doctors broke away from the surgery about 15 minutes ago to arm wrestle on a nearby stool, and the rest of the surgeons have all one by one walked over to form a circle around them so they can gamble. Meanwhile, the chief is hacking away at this kid's organs with all of her might, and seems way too dialed in to notice the game changer you found. It looks like there are 3 choices, chat. Once again, our destiny is in your hands. Do we yank it out with number 1? Do we alert the chief with number 2? Or do we go gamble with our friends with number 3? Oh, pretty even on this one. Chat is not as decisive on this one as they were with others, though number 2 does appear that it looks like it's going to take, it looks like the professionals in the chat are going to win this one. They're saying that we shouldn't do anything rash. The chief of medicine is our superior. So, we should let her know there's something in there. Those are veins. They are not evil copper and metal sticking out of this poor bastard's guts. Do not call them that. Damn. Misread that one. The chief is totally onto you now. But I appreciate you speaking your mind when you think something is amiss, she continues, looking up and making eye contact with you for the first time. That takes a commitment to the job that some of my other doctors lack at times, she says, motioning to the doctors across the room, who are now attempting to disguise their arm wrestling gambling ring by draping a hospital gown over the 2 meaty, dueling arms. Only one choice: hold eye contact without blinking, slowly nod your head, and say, good. The chief reciprocates your unblinking eye contact and begins nodding in perfect unison with your nodding. This all goes on for a good 20 seconds or so, the grunts of the 2 arm wrestlers and the slaps of cold, hard cash hitting the tile becoming the only sounds in the room. At that moment, you and the chief simultaneously feel a romantic charge between you, and it feels beautiful and right. But that romantic feeling is immediately followed by a simultaneous paternal feeling, but it's unclear who is the parent and who is the child. And the 2 feelings of physical attraction and familiar protectiveness fuse together into one singular emotion, and it feels disgusting to both of you. Only one choice. Pretend to hear one of the gambling surgeons call you over to ask you a quick question, and then walk over to them. Man, I can really relate with this story. It's like I'm there. Yeah, go catch up with them. I'll hold it down over here. It's cool. The chief kind of half mutters to herself and to you while shaking her head and getting back to surgery. We have 2 choices, chat. 2 choices. I don't know how much of a difference these would make, because both of them involve us going to the arm wrestlers. But it looks like number 1 does seem like it's going to win. We're going to acknowledge the Chief of Medicine, with whom we had an erotic but paternal experience with. We just don't really want to think about it is all. Number 1 has won. We're going to look back over our shoulder and smile and nod. You walk over to the gambling circle and see the 2 exhausted surgeons pulling and pushing as hard as they can to win. The 2 doctors are so evenly matched that their arms aren't moving or shaking in the slightest. If it weren't for the veins about to explode out of their temples and the tears streaming down their faces, you'd have no idea how intense the duel was. All the other surgeons are quietly going apeshit. Almost all of them are either gently pounding their chests, gingerly slapping the ground, or shaking their fists in the air, all the while whispering bad arm wrestling advice like, win the skin, or make him smooth. These are pretty good catchphrases. It's definitely a pretty sweet scene, and you decide that you want to get into the mix. Chat, 2 choices. Up to you. Are we going to ask the doctor on the left, or the doctor on the right? We're asking for the same thing either way, and we don't know who's to the left or who's to the right. We don't know who's going to give us the better response here. But it looks like the chat is saying that we want to go with number 1, the doctor to the left. All right. Left begins with L, and L stands for lucky. Give me that lucky left. As you go to ask the doctor next to you, your rival doctor steps in front and interrupts. Looking to get in on the action, but lacking the funds, newbie? Don't worry, fresh meat. I got you covered. Also, we're rival doctors, in case that wasn't clear. Whoa. Pretty cool to get a rival doctor on your first day on the job. Now, it probably usually takes years. That's my coat over there, he says, pointing to a white lab coat being worn by one of the arm wrestling surgeons. Go ahead and take my wallet out of the pocket and take out as much money as you want. He then lets out this weird little laugh. Ha ha! And looks around to see if anyone else is laughing. One other doctor did laugh, but he's in the middle of a conversation with another surgeon, so you're pretty sure the laugh had nothing to do with your rival. That's weird. Seems like that coat belongs to the doctor wearing it. You lying asshole. I have coats all over this hospital that you wouldn't know a thing about, he says, raising his fist up to your chin real quick, trying to get you to flinch. You stand your ground and don't flinch at all, though, and he sheepishly brings his fist back down to his side. Oh yeah, the music does indicate that we've got a fight going on now. Chat? What do you want to do? Do we want to refuse to borrow money from him, from his coat? Or do we trust him and reach into the coat? The coat is currently being worn by one of the arm wrestling doctors. Do we believe our rival or not? It looks like the chat is saying that we should not. We want to not borrow money. We want to call him a weirdo. That's what we're doing. You're acting like a real weirdo. Good, then, he stutters as he blushes and looks at the ground. It seems like he didn't anticipate you saying no, and definitely didn't prepare a casual way out of his offer. I'm glad you don't want my money, because now, I can use it to buy you some real surgeon clothes. Because you don't even look like you belong here. In this hospital, feels like your rival doesn't realize he just offered to buy you new clothes in a roundabout attempt at insulting you. Well, that would be so nice of you. Yeah, I know, bro. You would look great, wouldn't you? The confidence has returned to his voice. And he's standing up really straight again, which pretty much cements your hunch that he thinks his insults are landing perfectly. Yeah, man, okay, thank you. At that moment, the hospital bell rings. Everyone in the surgery room immediately puts down whatever they're doing and starts heading toward the door. You look at the clock on the wall, and it reads 5:30 p.m. That time of day surgeons eat a meal, and only 2.5 hours before you get your paws on that paycheck. I will pick this one up tomorrow, the chief barks as she tosses her blood-soaked toolbox into the sink and beelines out the door towards the cafeteria. Everyone nods and follows her out of the room. Chat, what do we do during this time of day? The only time that surgeons can eat. Do we go to the cafeteria? Do we want to look for latex gloves that we can wear while we eat, or do we try to wake up the kid and see if he wants some food? Oh, the chat's being very nice, it seems. They want to wake the kid up, see if he wants to eat anything. That's very generous of the chat. Thinking of people other than themselves, so let's try to wake the kid up. Right as you start violently shaking the heavily sedated kid to see if he wants a bite, you hear a familiar voice coming from the doorway of the surgery room. Hey, you were right not to take money out of that coat. You turn around to see that it's the janitor. He's leaning against the wall with his arms crossed and one foot planted behind him on the door frame. He would actually look pretty cool, but he's taking up the whole doorway and is unknowingly blocking out one of the surgeons who was just in here and is trying to get in to grab the backpack he forgot. The janitor starts to say something to you, but before he can get too much out, the surgeon behind him taps him on the shoulder and tells him he's in the way. The janitor is pretty apologetic. It's completely silent while the surgeon looks around for his backpack, and you and the janitor each quietly look at your feet for a while. After a good couple of minutes, the surgeon finally finds his bag and leaves without saying anything. Then the janitor begins his speech again, but is definitely less energetic than before. That coat from before, that belonged to one of the arm wrestling docs. I watched the whole surgery and saw him take it off. If I had to guess, I'd say your rival was sabotaging you. Trying to make you give the doc a heart attack while his blood pressure was so high, completely killing your chances at that paycheck. Well, if we took the money, one of the arm wrestling doctors would have died, apparently. Yeah, I'd already figured that out. Why were you watching us do surgery? I was gonna ask if you wanted to watch the transporter in the sleeping patient's room, but, you look busy. Nothing to say to that, I guess. It looks like the janitor has more to say because he's excitedly smiling and looking right at you, but he doesn't say anything, and it's weird as hell. It's starting to piss you off, so you take out your phone and just scroll through some old texts. So listen, now that you're free, the janitor finally says after a few minutes, what do you say we take another crack at this hangout and see if we can illuminate this friendship? 3 choices, chat. How do you want to answer the janitor? Our new friend? Our confidant? Our partner in making sure no one knows we're not a surgeon? It looks like we're saying number 3. Why'd you emphasize illuminates? What do you mean? To make bright. Interesting. Janitor doesn't know how to use the word illuminate. Sure, let's hang. Oh, hell yeah! The janitor screams before jumping up in the air and trying unsuccessfully to kick his heels together. Then he touches them while standing on the ground. I know just the place to take you this time. Follow me! Have you ever tried to do that? Jump up and kick your heels together? It's not that hard to do, but I guess the janitor, those old knees of his, just can't get them up in the air the way they used to. You follow the janitor as he sprints down the hallway, weaving in and out of patients and doctors. Oh, and then out of an emergency exit that for some reason doesn't sound... I thought for a second this was repeating, but no, it's not. None of the fire alarms work because I took all the batteries home to study them. He screams at you after stopping and turning to face you once you're both outside. You tell him how this is probably a bad idea, and he immediately apologizes. Then you tell him that he doesn't have to apologize to you for that. He nods and starts sprinting away again, now along the side of the hospital towards the back parking lot. Alright, let's keep going. You keep running along the building, and then the janitor suddenly opens a back door to the hospital and bolts through it. You follow him inside, down another long stretch of hallway, and then right past the cafeteria. Your rival surgeon and his crew of surgeon cronies stand up at their table and boo you as they see you running by. He has surgeon cronies. I had no idea. Well, we're flipping them all off. We're just run by, giving them the double birds. Nice. You keep running, and after going in that big circle along the same route 4 full times, the janitor finally comes to a stop outside the gift shop and points at it. "This is my spot," he says, his arm still fully extended towards the gift shop sign overhead. "It's practically like a second home to me." Got a choice here, chat. Got a choice. You have to make that choice. Do we say how, or do we just follow him inside? Do we want an explanation of why it's like a second home, or do we take his word for it? It looks like we're going to say it's going to be number 1. We're going to ask him how this is like a second home. "They let me sit on a folding chair in the middle of the circular shirt rack if I promised to be quiet." I guess that's the backstory. Okay. You walk inside the gift shop with the janitor, and it turns out to have some pretty awesome stuff. A fridge with a neon green light around the edges stocked with Rockstar energy drink, snow globes with empty hospital beds inside them, and hats that just say fluids. Oh, I want that hat! A hat that just says fluids in huge yellow letters. Not to mention organ-themed playing cards. Pre-made sandwiches for sale in a big bin near the window, and shirts that say, "This is why I came to this hospital," with an arrow pointing at the crotch. Man, this hospital has great merchandise. "Take a load off, brother," the janitor says, struggling to set up a folding chair he keeps under the fridge and is carrying over towards you. Chat, got a couple choices. You know, I don't know how good the surgeons in this hospital are, but the gift shop is tremendous. It looks like most of the people in the chat do want to sit down. Who's voting number 4? There is no 4th choice. We're gonna go with 1 and sit down. "By the way, allow me to introduce you to my boy, Brian," the janitor continues, gesturing to a very small man behind the counter you didn't notice when you first walked in. The little man is flashing you an insincere smile and is wearing a big, ill-fitting suit. He has his arms smugly crossed, his just a little too long fingernails clearly visible on the fingers creeping out from under his armpits. You know immediately that you don't like this dude, and he doesn't like you. "He doesn't talk much, but me and him go way back," asks the janitor. We saw Petty together last summer, and we once shaved each other's heads." Alright, so we're gonna ask Brian if he's hungry. "Hey, he's never hungry, so don't even bother feeding him," the janitor quickly responds. Brian looks a little bummed by the janitor's intervention for a second, but then goes back to giving you the stink eye. "Anyway, bro, what do you want to do? We got this whole place to ourselves, and it's pretty decked out. Pick your poison." Alright, what are we going to be doing for entertainment? Play cards, try on hats, or eat some grub? It looks like a certain choice. He's dominating, and yeah, it is to try on the hats. We have to try them on. We have to find one that's our size. I definitely want to take a hat home with me. I can't lift my hands above my waist because of a power washer accident. Oh well. I guess we're gonna have to eat some grub. You read my mind, cuzzo. I have one jar of peanut butter back in the basement. We can dual think. Oh, no. No. Let me go grab it. After this, it looks like you pretty much sealed the deal for your $600, my man. I'll be right back. Wow, the janitor's right. It's already 7:50 p.m. You've managed not to kill anyone all day. Just 10 more minutes have you made it. I don't know. I don't like that we're stuck in this room with Brian, and we have to make it 10 minutes without killing him. Not feeling good about this. Gonna make small talk with him. After the janitor takes off to grab his peanut butter, you walk over to Brian, who's still giving you a bad vibe. You ask him what's up, and he doesn't answer. So you do it 4 more times after that, each time louder and closer to his face than the last. After all that, he still doesn't move or talk, and it's starting to piss you off. Now you're determined to do whatever it takes to get this guy to talk. Alright, 3 choices. What do we think we can do to get him to talk? Ask him what his childhood was like? Ask him out on a date? Ask him if he wants some trail mix? I don't think it's much of a surprise what is being voted right now. So I mean, I probably didn't even need to take a vote on that. Let's ask Brian out on a date. Get some romance going on in here. It is a story for girls, after all. Brian sneezes 3 times straight without covering his mouth and frowns. Still nothing. Damn. I think that's probably a refusal. He didn't say no, but I mean, sneezing without covering his mouth seems pretty clear. After the janitor takes off to grab his peanut... Oh no, we're back here. We're back here. You know, I'm just gonna ask him what his childhood was like. Let's find out. Brian shakes his head, takes his shirt off, and hands it to you. Then he starts banging his fist on the counter until you give it back. You hand it back, he puts it back on, and continues to stare at you. Got nothing? Ah, shit. Alright, do you want some trail mix, Brian? Now we're on the same page, Brian excitedly declares in a booming voice much lower than you anticipated. Okay. Now we're on the same page than you anticipated, finally breaking his mysterious silence. He uncrosses his arms and shakes your hand. Maybe I was wrong about you, Doc, he says. You seem all right to me. Good shit. Brian likes you now. Alright. That's all he wanted. He wanted some trail mix. Let's grab some from the snack aisle and pour some into Brian's now cupped hands. The moment you pour the trail mix into Brian's hand, he pops it all back in one motion and immediately starts choking. It honestly looks like he's never chewed before, the way he just tossed the food all haphazardly right into his esophagus. It looks so dumb. Now he's stumbling around while grabbing at his throat and pounding on his chest. At that moment, the janitor walks back in, sees what's happening, and drops his jar of peanut butter in shock. You fed him? Why would you feed him? He mostly likes juice and very thin pastes because of how bad he chews. Ah, shit! The janitor screams. Do something! You look at the clock on the wall. It reads 7:57 p.m. Ah, damn! If this guy croaks, that paycheck is gone! Only one option, and that's to think. Brian is choking so bad his shoes have somehow fallen off. Now he's shuffling side to side like a basketball player warming up, and the janitor is trying to get him to sit down in his folding chair. Do something! The janitor keeps yelling. Come on! Chat, we have an emergency. Chat, vote now like you've never voted before. It's up to you. Do we think hard? Do we rub our chin in order to think more deeply? It definitely looks like the chat is going with number 2. Number 1 could make a comeback. No, I think it's going to be number 2. I think it's going to be number 2. We're going to rub our chin, think more deeply. You decide to check your phone for help, and while you're looking through Google searches for trail mix choke house stop, and the janitor is trying to get the trail mix out of Brian's throat by stuffing more trail mix down to try to push it all the way through, you hear a voice come from the doorway.
There you are, Doctor. I've been looking all over for you, and it's what the hell is happening here?
Oh no. It's the chief, and she's holding a big plastic bag filled with $600 with your name written on it in huge green marker. When she realizes what's going on, she crosses her arms with your plastic bag in hand, sternly waiting for you to fix this before handing over your money. Okay, game time. Chat, the money is almost ours. It's right there. She's holding it. Do we take the time to really think and remember what our father told us about choking, or do we throw one of Brian's shoes at his stomach? I mean, if I was in this situation, honestly, we already did what I would have done, which was to search on Google how trail mix choking how stop, and that didn't work. It didn't work. So it looks like the chat is saying number 2. When in doubt, throw a shoe at it. Do we get our $600, chat? The shoe hits Brian pretty hard, clean on his shin, and he looks pissed off about it. Both he and the janitor stop panicking for a second and look at you like you're being a dick. What the hell, man? The janitor mutters to himself, damn, no luck. Gotta go to the other shoe at the stomach, but much harder. Yes, you hit Brian directly in the stomach on that one. Bullseye. He falls over and grabs his belly, but he's definitely continuing to choke, so it looks like you didn't really knock the trail mix loose or anything. Also, after the second shoe throw, Brian looks more sad than mad, and the janitor's kind of disappointingly shaking his head. A few seconds go by, and even after Brian's stomach feels better, he continues to lie down on the floor because he's losing so much blood flow to his brain. He's choking real good now, and it looks like Brian is gonna die at any moment. You get one last crack at this. Chat, 4 choices. I don't know how many of these choices will get us the $600. Maybe only one of them. We have to fumble through our best guess of how CPR goes. We try our absolute hardest to put ourselves in the mind of Brian and how we would want to be saved. Punch him in the gut a few times, or give Brian mouth-to-mouth to give him enough oxygen to get him alive by 8 o'clock. That's an interesting option. Don't save him, but just make sure he's alive at 8 o'clock. It's a technicality, but we get by in life on technicalities, and it looks like that the chat wants to risk this technicality. It does look like this is what we're doing. We're gonna go with mouth-to-mouth, in the hopes that by 8 o'clock, he will still be alive. Chat, did you get us our $600? You furiously blow air into Brian's mouth, past the lodged trail mix, in hopes that you can get his brain enough oxygen to keep him alive until 8 o'clock p.m. The seconds tick by like hours, but you don't stop. You can feel like you're losing Brian, but there is still a faint heartbeat in there, and you're blowing so hard that you almost don't notice that the chief of medicine is tapping your arm. You stop blowing.
It's 8 o'clock p.m., she says. You didn't kill anyone today. Here's your bag. $600.
You take the bag, feeling a great sense of accomplishment. The chief, the janitor, and you all watch the life fade from Brian's eyes as he asphyxiates on the floor of the gift shop. And you all decide to go for tacos. On you. Congratulations. Chat. You got us the $600. It's time for a celebration. As they say, we're going to spend it all on tacos. I don't have a picture of a taco available, but most of the pictures in this story didn't show. I don't know why. You'd assume that each of these pages would have had a picture, but pictures were not loading. I'm so proud of you, chat. I'm so proud that you got us the $600. We can retire. We don't actually have to be a surgeon anymore. We can retire on our wages for today. Well, I mean, there are certainly other options that we could have taken, but none of those other options would have gotten us the $600. I wonder if this was the only way to get to the end. Maybe it was. Maybe any other option we could have taken would have just resulted in us being fired because we would have killed someone before we made it to 8 o'clock. You know, I'm looking at the time right now, and to some people, it's 8 o'clock right now. To some people, it is. And unfortunately, no one's going to walk in your house and hand you a bag of $600, as far as I know. I'm sorry about that. I don't think there's a way to make that happen, but our doctor character got the $600. Perfect. We did it. I think it's time to take a little break, and since we finished this story, I guess we'll figure out what we're going to be doing for the rest of the stream, since we're actually done with this story. But as far as our hospital career goes, we will never forget our career, our one-day career as a surgeon, in which we performed surgery we were an assistant surgeon by holding on to a flashlight. We don't actually know how the surgery on that kid turned out. I guess we'll never know. But what we do know is that we got a garbage bag full of $600. And I think we should feel pretty good about that. We should feel pretty good.